Hello, I'm Yelena from Sew Projects, and this is going to be a little interview so you guys can get to know me a bit better. So one of the questions that a few people asked is, how did it all begin? There's how did it all to begin with the Sew Project side, so the DIY lingerie business, and then there's kind of the how did it all begin with the me making lingerie. So I think I'm going to go over that question a bit quickly because there's kind of a lot to it. But basically, I was always very creative, and although I didn't study textiles at school, I did when I went to college and sixth form, and then I realised that I really liked making small things, and then I saw that you can make your own, you can do a degree to make your own lingerie, and I think that was really at the stage where I thought, oh wow, you can actually study making your own lingerie, right? That's definitely for me. I would usually, before I was into like lots of historical garments, so I used to really like the 1940s and a lot of Victorian corsetry and that kind of thing. So when I was doing my studies, I would experiment a lot, using recycled fabrics, and make them. I think I made corset out of paper that I made or something, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, it wasn't really until after college actually, so I didn't get into the course that I wanted to. I then got a studio in my hometown, and basically for a year I was just being, you know, super creative, and I kind of really found my flow, and I thought, oh wow, you know, this is amazing. So I then applied for the course again, and by the time I'd applied, I was already kind of doing a bit of a small business anyway, and I'd already been doing photo shoots with people. So in hindsight, I probably could have carried that on without going to uni, but I think at uni you learn more of the technical part, which is the part that I do actually really love as well, like all the grading and the pattern cutting and that kind of thing. So I went to De Montfort Uni and I did a 3-year contour fashion course. Some of you may have heard of that. And then after uni I was quite, I would say, burnt out. I was super skinny actually, and I'm not a person to get skinny. I've always been kind of curvy, and I think it really did take it out of my health. I did work for a bit after uni in London. I did some freelance work as well, but ultimately I just felt my health was suffering, and I was still super skinny. I got more skinny, so I decided to give that up. And then I kind of all this time I was still kind of making lingerie. If you've been following on my other account, you've realised I've been doing that quite a long time. So I was still kind of making it and selling it, but I wasn't doing it as much because I just wasn't feeling very well. And then I realised that I needed to take my business in a new direction. With living on a boat and also with my health, I just felt like making lots of lingerie garments wasn't right for me. Obviously I still love making lingerie and I always will do, but making them again and again and again, it was taking its toll. So yeah, I had discussion with my boyfriend. He's super helpful and supportive, and we kind of came up with this idea of doing like knicker making kits, and it kind of just expanded from that. And I'd always call everything a project, so it was definitely going to be called Sew Projects, because I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing this project, I'm doing that project. And that was kind of where the name came from. So that's kind of the side kind of before Sew Projects, and I will show you some images of the things that I've made before. So probably, you know, I've started making them when I was like 20, so maybe like 10 years now. So I've been doing it for a while. So next part of the question is the Save Project side. So I've already kind of touched into that. So it was really my health and the situation that I was living in, and also I just felt like maybe making lingerie on my own wasn't quite maybe satisfying enough for me. You know, I wanted to help other people with their creativity, and you know, sometimes I think that's the only thing I'm good at. So that's kind of another reason, you know, and I wanted to just help people to be creative and, you know, get that time away from stressful work maybe or whatever. So yeah, that was another part of it. So I'm going to go on to some other questions that people have asked. What's my least favourite thing to sew? That's actually quite a tricky one. I don't think I have a particular thing that I hate sewing. Actually, I do. I've just remembered. Okay, this isn't anything to do with lingerie, but I hate doing this. Oh my god. So as I mentioned, so I'm on a boat. I don't know if you've ever seen the boats have the kind of not tarpaulin, but it's called like a crouch cover that goes over the front of the boat because it's a narrow boat. And oh my god, the fabric, because obviously it's got so big, it's so heavy, it's so industrial, like I hate it. And I started it, I bought the fabric literally like, I don't even know, like a year and a half ago. I started it in the summer, it's still not finished. My boyfriend keeps saying to me, when are you going to finish that? I'm like, yeah, when the weather's better. Oh my god, yeah, I hate doing that. But I think I do want to get it done. I've got all the stuff for it. You know, I spent quite a bit of money on it. So it's going to be done. It's going to be done this year. Maybe I'll show you guys. And no, I've told you now, so I'm going to have to do it now. So yeah. So that's what I hate sewing. Big, like annoying, heavy fabrics. I hate that. And I think that's why I went down the lingerie route. Like nice little things, you know, you can just do in your lap. Oh yeah, not things you can't even fit on the table and it's pulling your machine off. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, and then okay, so next question. So a question I was going to ask myself, what was my most favourite make I've ever made? There's obviously quite a few. Like, you know, there's always ones that stick out and you're like, oh, I really loved that. But I think there's one in particular. There's a particular collection that I made when I was at my studio before I went to uni, that I'm still look at and I think, oh, I do like that. I think everything came together and it was just like exactly what I, you know, actually I didn't even envisage it. It just kind of came out of nowhere. And yeah, so I'm going to show a little photo shoot that I done with that bodysuit, and I'll show the more details. Some of you might have already seen it because I have posted about it before, but yeah, I think that's my ultimate favourite. So someone else has asked, how do I store my fabrics? So easy, I store them all in large plastic boxes. It's the easiest way to store a lot of fabrics. You can kind of squish everything down as well. And then sometimes you break the lids. But if you get good quality ones, then you can kind of clip them down and yeah, they stay all in. So yeah, I keep them in clear plastic boxes, so then I can see in them. One box I've got all the stuff for the kids, one box I've got all my elastics, one box I've got all the kind of remnants and that kind of thing. So I do kind of keep it a bit organised, so it's a bit easier for me to work. And then in terms of the kind of haberdashery items, you know, like an unpicker or invisible razor pen or whatever, all that kind of stuff, I've just got my little haberdashery bag that I put all my stuff in. It's pretty heavy, it's got a lot of stuff in it. So yeah, and I do have drawers with all my cotton threads in. Yeah, it's mainly all in there. So that's how I store my things. Okay, so another question was, what's my favourite fabric? I think this is actually quite a tricky one. I love lots of different fabrics, and it really just depends the design. I mean, I do quite like bright things actually. You may have noticed in my feed that yeah, I do like kind of nice bright colours. I'd say I like more natural fabrics. I don't like wearing polyesters. Nylon is okay. I find that more breathable in terms of, like, you know, you get stretch mesh, it's usually made from nylon. But yeah, polyester I try not to wear. And well, I'd say one of my favourite like kind of base fabrics that I always go to is the organic cotton and bamboo mix. I find if you use bamboo by itself, it can be quite like not what's the word, it's not as structured as if it was a cotton jersey. Like, it's just a bit kind of looser fitting, and also it can it's not as durable as cotton, so it tends to like bubble after washing, that kind of thing. So but I find if you combine the two together, it creates the perfect fabric, and it's so soft. And I use that for all my gusset. So if you buy a kit and you get the gusset fabric, I'll always use that fabric. Yeah, so it's just really soft. I find it quite durable, it doesn't bubble, and it's organic cotton as well. So yeah, I'd say that's probably my favourite kind of functional fabric. So yeah, I think that's it for this little interview to myself. If you obviously have any other questions, you can ask me and I will reply. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you got to know me a little bit better.